What up?
What's going on, Herb? Good evening. How are you doing?
And I have family members who are in the same room who are possibly trying to kill me, and they're waiting to see if I die. How's that first?
I don't even know. I mean, why would that be happening?
So,
okay,
this is the drink that was made for me tonight.
Okay. It looks clear. I can't tell. Maybe it's the lighting.
There's a pickle in it. Don't make that face. Don't make that face.
All right. Well, let's try it. Let's knock it out. Cheers.
Yes, and they're waiting to see me try it live. So first off, welcome in everybody.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
If I don't survive this drink, I just want to say, Raj, doing this show with you has been a lot of fun. I love you, man, and I appreciate you.
Love you too. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, everybody. Tastes like a pickle margarita.
Okay. How is it on a scale of 1 to? I mean, how is it?
Because the person who made it is sitting right there, I'm gonna say it's a 10. Gotcha. Great job. When she leaves, I might be maybe more like a 6.
Okay.
But it's got alcohol in it, so it's good. So
while you soak in that taste and just ingest everything, let's give some shout outs to some people in the chat.
Okay. Are you gonna say hello, bartender? Hold on. My bartender is gonna say hello before she leaves.
Okay. Maddie in the building. How goes it? So
he said, "How goes it?" You can speak to the world. Say, "Hey."
I'm surprised I didn't puke.
Okay. All right. All right.
Thank you, Maddie. Appreciate it.
The notorious Jay Bake is in the building.
She said she could smell it. She ran off.
Thank you for joining us. Kelly. I'll click on it. Yeah, happy Flag Day. Thank you, Kelly, for joining us. We appreciate you. Way Offsides is in the building. Shout out to the entire Way Offsides crew. Thank you for joining us. Had an excellent interview this past Thursday with Xavier Griffin and his mom. We all tuned in. That was excellent work. Shout out to that crew. Let me see. Kat, Roll Tide. Thank you for joining us. That's one half of the Alpha pool, the other half being Lady Alpha. Thank you both for joining us this beautiful Saturday evening. We hope everybody's doing well. What did Kat say? I like pickles, but I don't know about drink. Yeah, I don't think I've ever drank a pickled drink before. So maybe Herb, that might have been a first for Herb. So I've never.
That was definitely a first. I've never heard of anyone even trying to do that, but she does it. So there you go. I appreciate the drinks making. Where are you at? I like pickles. Okay, you saw. I don't even know if you noticed, Rod. You got a. Well, you had a surprise for a second and then jumped out. Go ahead, keep going.
Reginald Bell Johnson. Happy Father's Day. Thank you, Reginald Bell Johnson. We appreciate you for joining us. Yeah, I saw it. Oh, there we go. I see it now here. I saw it. He popped in. He was in there earlier. He popped in and out. Shout out to Big Mike. Thank you for joining us. Beautiful Saturday evening. I almost forgot what day it was. All right. Herb, go ahead. We have a special guest joining us tonight, fresh off his immaculate 2025 interview, which will probably receive an Emmy or whatever the case may be.
Yes, or and an SB probably too as well. I think
one member,
one of Caitlin DeBoer's close personal friends.
I knew it.
Yep.
DB does a lot of people into his circle.
No, he doesn't. But he's speed dial 3. So that tells you just how high up on the list he is.
We're probably 390 something somewhere down the list, but we're eking our way up there.
Right. Little known fact: when Ryan Williams got to Alabama, he had to ask, could he use the name Hollywood because this was the true Hollywood. So
wow.
He actually had to.
I heard rumblings about that, but I didn't know if that story was confirmed. We just confirmed it here on the Herb Rodg podcast, so it is true. Okay.
Yep. He's making the most NIL money out of any Alabama podcaster.
Okay.
What's up, my guy?
Good evening.
What was that intro? You guys are number 1 on my speed dial, man.
Oh man,
I was wondering how long the intro was gonna go. I was like,
I usually give you 3, so there you go. So,
that was wild, man.
Way outside.
Roger, I don't know if you saw how this came about. He was tired of not beating Jay Bake into the thing, so he's like, I'll just get on the show instead.
Dude, we gotta
Yeah.
meet Jay Bake. I can't wait to meet Jay Bake in person, man. That'll be awesome.
Eat it, J Bake. I win. You lose.
Man, how are you doing tonight, Cotton? Man, what's going on?
I'm good, man. I've been out doing yard work all day, gearing up for hopefully a good Father's Day. Following all this recruiting stuff, man. You know how it is. Always be recruiting.
Hayes. When Hayes posted the 3 elephants the other day, I was like, oh man, I was on social media all day looking around. Nothing came about, so he just gave us a big tease. I was like, all right.
He knows what he's doing. He knows.
He knows what he's doing. He's keeping us engaged. He's keeping us on our toes. So I think we can all agree that big things are soon to come. But probably, maybe, hopefully later on this month, and then obviously the first week of July when some more people will announce their commits. But we got some guys on the list that we're hoping to get on the capstone. Obviously one of them, Xavier Griffin, who you all were luckily fortunate enough to interview Thursday night. Speaking of that, how do you think things went? And kudos to you guys again, man. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that was a really cool interview. So that day was a little bit of a nightmare. You guys use StreamYard, so like everything's backed by the Google Cloud. So if Google Cloud goes down, you can't use StreamYard. So they agreed to do the show that morning, and then immediately, like clockwork, Google Cloud goes down for the day. So Jeff and I were like rushing at the last minute. We were gonna pick everything up out of StreamYard and move it somewhere else to make this happen. And then thankfully it came back online. It was a little spotty, but we got through it. Man, that was a good interview, dude. They were just so easy to talk to, and just Jay's amazing. She's fantastic.
She is, dude.
She is.
You always worry about the overbearing kind of stuff when it comes to recruiting, all that. She just seemed kind of laid back, like, I get what's going on. I know what's important. But
look, I think Xavier's got a lot of input, but I think Mom's calling the shots here. Which she should. He's 16, man. I mean, she absolutely should.
And that's what I was going to say. She allowed him to answer like some of the questions that were fitting for him, but she, she spoke up when necessary, but she also allowed him to, say what he had to say as well. So I thought the interview went well, and of course our hopes are really, really high, and we hope it works out for the best. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think they're well placed. Those are well placed hopes. I mean, I think so. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. RPM's pointing right at Bama, so we'll see how it goes.
Awesome.
An image that I just saw on Twitter earlier, I asked you about for sure. What do you make of the Arrington making the rounds, posting videos with with Hollywood? Just somebody having fun, or is there some real hope here?
That's a tough one, man. Bama's not out of it, I don't think. I mean, the guy is taking an official visit to Alabama, so they're in it somewhat. I think Arrington, if you'll look at his Instagram story, he spent this morning posting updates to his socials. He's really pushing his social media accounts. So I was just kind of like, you're on an official visit at Bama, you're trying to promote your socials. So I mean, I'm not saying it's out of a realm of possibility. I just feel like when this one's said and done, Arrington's probably going to end up with Oregon or A&M. And so, and that's okay, because Bama has what they need coming in. Be patient, Bama fans. I know you're waiting. Let's see. He's still got a Texas A&M official visit scheduled. So it's going to be hard. And
one thing I didn't know about Arrington until I looked this up, but he also does track. And I think I read somewhere where he could actually be in line to like run for the Olympics in 2028 if he wanted to. I forgot what distance it was, but he's also a heck of a track runner too. So
his nickname is Dash.
Okay. I saw that in the top.
Half the sites that you go to actually list him as an athlete, I think, rather than just like
yes,
like this
absolutely.
dude can do whatever you want.
I think he could play corner, wide receiver, whatever, And Bama's done well recruiting and developing both of those positions, and I'm sure he's aware of that. It's just whether Bama's willing to look. Arrington's not going to be free. He's not a free. He's going to come with a big price tag. So is Bama willing to spend the money on him? My immediate guess is no.
Yeah. And I think you said it well first. Like, we have kind of what we need in the rest of that class. So this isn't like a spin big. It's like Michigan going after their quarterback. You're not spending big on the position where you're like, it'd be a nice to have, but this isn't a must have for this class.
Yeah. And look, Arrington aside, Bama still, they're going to make a push for the top class. And this could be a class that scores overall in like the 320s. I think Bama's highest class ever was like 327.
Yeah. And
so I keep calling this class, there's a potential for it to be historic. And people are like, I don't see it. Just, man, Bama could sign five or six, maybe even 7 5-stars before this was done. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Man.
And refresh my memory, and I hate to admit this. What year was our highest class? What year was that? Because I mean, when you go back to all the years, I'm thinking like it could be so many different ones. I forgot what year it was.
Let's look it up.
He's gonna look. Let me get a couple comments in real quick while we're looking it up. So we can get back up. So Jay Bake definitely said he's looking forward to Tallahassee. Look at Mike though. Mike. Well, we love you, Mike.
We got you,
and
Mike.
We definitely are not big time. So the premature recruit elation. Yes, that was.
Oh wow! I'm glad I read that without drinking too much because that could have just
that would have been dangerous later on in the show for sure.
Yes. Thank you. I'm glad you read it.
If you go read the group chat, I can't wait till Jay Bake meets up with Hayes one day. I think they're gonna have some words.
Oh man, they will be fist fighting. I think it might be their 2017 class. You had
2017. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Najee Harris, Alex Leatherwood, Dylan Moses. Dude, it keeps going. Tua, Xavier McKinney, Devontae. Yeah, dude. Devontae Smith, Henry. Yeah, it's the 20s. It's got to be the 2017 class. Wow, dude.
That's crazy. Just seeing us being able to recruit all those guys. It's just absolutely crazy. So
Mac Jones. And when they started working on this class, I was talking about how and last year's too, they really were kind of picking that formula apart for that 2017 class and applying it. Okay. And so I mean, they're kind of using the same strategy that Bama used in 2017. So dude, this could be a good one. It could be a very, very good one. I think you're, I don't want to say guaranteed, it's fluid, but Bama's favored for 5 different 5-stars right now. So.
And then even like Raj and I, we had to talk about this. It feels like weeks ago. Even with someone like Arrington that you don't think you're going to get, where do you lean, good or bad, for even Alabama's name to be mentioned in that conversation still out there?
Yeah, we always talk about, recruits using Alabama for clout, but when you bring a guy like Brandon Arrington in, that also puts Bama on the scene. Arrington's the number 1 cornerback in this class. He's a number 9 overall athlete in this class. He's a number 1 player in California. I mean, look, Alabama and anybody outside of our fan base is going to disagree with this because Nick Saban's not at the helm anymore. But Alabama's brand is still very strong, and it's going to float on its own without a Brandon Arrington. But it doesn't hurt, man. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
It does not hurt.
Where's the last 2? Yep. Kat, we're loving this.
Okay, am I missing something? Because Kyle, shout out to Kyle for being in the chat too. We appreciate you. Did something happen with Auburn today? Because am I missing something?
I think this is coming. So yesterday I posted a picture from Xavier Crowell's Instagram, and it was his like welcome packet on his hotel room bed, and oh my gosh, they gave him a little cookie cake that says freeze warning, but it's got like the freezing face emoji, but it's completely jacked up. It looks like whoever did it, Parkinson's going on. It's pretty sad. And then you look at their recruiting photos from last week, the Toy Story background with
I remember that one. I remember that one.
It was just really funky. Really
and then the why not Auburn?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I forgot about that.
At this point, they're trying to step out of the box and try something new, but they're just hitting air balls on everything.
Yeah, they're striking out right now. And I mean, look, Alabama fans aren't going to want to hear this. Auburn, despite their shoddy recruiting efforts, they're going to put together a pretty good class. They're going to finish. They're going to finish top 15.
Yeah. With that being said, this is just a question that I've always had. Yeah. Do you think them being able to get a good recruiting class is just a result of players saying, I would rather go to Alabama, but if I go to Alabama, I might not start right away, so I'll just opt for Auburn instead? Or do you think it's just them doing really good at recruiting?
No, I think it's NIL. Honestly, I mean, so you have certain schools, and if you look, let's use Brandon Arrington for an example here. So Arrington has had five? He's got 5 official visits scheduled. The first one was Washington, then Oregon, then Bama, then USC, then Texas A&M. You see 3 schools right off the top there: A&M, USC, Oregon. Those are what I call NIL primary schools, and that's their like primary recruiting tool. Auburn's one of those schools. Ole Miss, Florida, and so Oregon, obviously, Texas A&M, USC. So yeah, it's NIL. I mean, dude, Auburn, I don't think put anybody in the draft last year, did they? Or what? One or two guys really late?
We saw something about that on Twitter, and everybody was posting like y'all didn't put anybody in the draft. So if there was, maybe somebody went undrafted
or something like that.
Yeah, so not that I recall. So
so I mean, they're not developing players. Hugh Freeze is, I guess, exciting, but the only thing he ever did at Ole Miss with really good recruiting classes was beat Nick Saban in Alabama. He never won a championship, never won the SEC, and that's. Honestly, I think beating Alabama is their ceiling, man. Sucks. And so kids know that. And they won the state last year, but that's the only time they were able to win the state in recruiting because Bama brought in a brand new staff. That's not happening this year. Bama's going to clean slate the top 3 or 4 guys in the state of Alabama will be in Tuscaloosa, I think, playing ball in 2026. So,
yeah. And we had talked about, I think, when they first got in here, that needed to be something that was addressed. And I feel like this staff definitely got on it. Like, we're not losing the state after this.
Yeah. There's a reason Kane Womack was the guy that they went and looked at that DC position because he already had those relationships here in the state. And then, C. Rob, we heard with Xavier and his mom, she talked a lot about Freddie Roach and Coach Robinson and just how those guys are just tearing it up recruiting right now, man.
Right.
And so, and they have, I mean, the state relationships are good. You're looking at Xavier Crowell, Sadarian Morgan, Anthony Jones. I think those are your top 3 players in the state of Alabama, and they're all pointing right at the capstone right now in Tuscaloosa. So, roll tide, I guess.
Roll tide.
Herbert, I have a general. I just thought about this. A general question for both of you. I know my answer. I'll give my answer first. But if you guys were a recruit, at any point in recruiting, would you go ahead and just take all of your official visits, or would you take one and then shut down the rest? I'm not gonna lie, I would take as many visits as possible just to take them, just to travel, just to take the visits, even if I knew where I was going to school. What would you guys do?
If I'm 17, Raj, and somebody's like, but I'd space mine out. You'd be like, so why is Herb taking a visit to California? To to Florida, to Texas, you know what I mean? You'd be like, so he's taking them all over, even if I'd already decided it was Bama.
Exactly,
I would. You're telling me I'm 17 and I can go places and everyone's just going to make the whole day about me? Let's go do it. So, sorry, Cotton. I had to.
No, dude, I agree with you. I would do the same thing because it's we had Xavier on Thursday night. He just got back from Tuscaloosa. He's in Austin this weekend at Texas. I saw the picture of him showing up at the airport, I think yesterday or this morning, and you can see it on his face, man. The kid looks exhausted. And so I agree with you, Herb. I'd do it. I'm taking my visits, but I'm going to space them out a little bit and get me some rest.
So something we had talked about, and I know you guys have talked about it too, man, the impact that the current players are making in recruiting just seems bigger. And maybe, that's hyperbole because of we're all victims of the moment, but it seems like it's bigger this year than maybe it has been in the past. But it just seems like, from the outside, that the current players are making a huge impact on these recruits.
Yeah, they are. I asked Jay and Xavier about that Thursday night, and they spoke to that because it's a different way to recruit. Alabama also is recruiting the families of these players really, really hard. It's not just about the players, but
she mentioned,
getting these kids in there so that and I've heard a lot of people, not just Xavier Griffin, but a lot of people when they're reminiscing about their visit or talking to Andrew Bone or whoever about their visit, they're like, man, just the players made me feel like I was already part of the team. And that was huge. And Xavier said that. He was like, that was one of the best things. He talked about going bowling and the photo shoot and how those 2 things really stood out because he felt like he was already part of the team. And they're using the younger guys too. I mean, of course, you got Ryan Williams, superstar in there. The real Hollywood, by the way. But you got Ryan Williams in there. But I mean, Derek Meadows, Dijon Lee, Keelan Russell, all these kids are in there helping recruit, man. And that's huge, dude. It's huge. Something does feel different in Tuscaloosa. Something feels different in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm agree with. And by the way, Kyle, I'm pretty sure a lot of us have been in that exact spot.
I was not saving
man.
money at that age, man. I was
Yeah, me neither, dude. Me neither.
Yeah.
blowing it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could tell you guys what I was doing at 18. It might be.
Okay.
I probably have one somewhere.
Yeah. Dude, I just can't imagine dealing with the money that these guys are dealing with at 18. Because, like what Kyle said, I didn't have much.
Yeah.
And I still
Yeah.
blew whatever I had. I can't imagine somebody dropping $1 million in my lap at
Yeah.
17, 18, and expecting me to come away with anything good. Like,
Hey, why don't you invest it? Like, yeah, I'm 18. Dude. Come on, I'm not thinking about that.
Yeah. I'm buying a Lambo, man. What are you talking
Exactly.
about?
That's the cat, yeah. That was a lot of us, cat. So I get it. I get it.
I only had enough to get like Mad Dog and Boone's Farm.
No, I
Whatever
was
you
back
get
there
your
doing
hands
Crown before they had flavors. So
yeah, the original. Yeah.
that's where we were. So I know this is not on Sunday, but you mentioned a name in there that I don't think gets talked about enough, and that was with Derek Meadows. Because I came away really impressed with him at A-Day. And
yeah.
You talk about how deep the wide receiver room is. What's kind of your overall outlook for him? Where you think he's going to place? Is this kind of a wait till see next year? Is there a spot for him? What do you think with Meadows?
Yeah, it's a deep room, and that's a good question. I think Meadows will see some playing time. Just the guy he's a giant. He's a literal giant out there, and I think we'll see a lot of what we expected with Caleb Odom last year, who's now at Ole Miss.
Yep.
I think we'll see that with Meadows. But
Caleb Odom, I don't remember the name. Sorry.
Who? Sorry, I didn't mean to offend. But with Meadows, dude, I think that there's still a learning curve there, just based off some stuff I'm hearing from people who have like more access. Clint Lamb is one of the. I think you guys had Clint on not long ago. He had mentioned that he felt like Meadows had to still kind of grow into being a wide receiver at Alabama. The more interesting one to me is Jalen Mbakwe. Like,
oh my goodness,
how are they going to use
my
him?
next question?
How are they going to use it?
We've talked about him several times, and I mean, I think Herb and I kind of agree. It's like special teams. When he kind of made up, his decision that he kind of wanted to do both things, that kind of put him in a really, really interesting spot, because now when you look at the wide receiver room and the running, or not the running back room, but the DB room, they're loaded both ways. So like, I don't know what wide receiver wise. I mean, you're looking at like maybe 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever on the depth chart.
No, I'd say 7 or 8.
7 or 8, maybe
easy.
even in the DB room too. I mean, we're
Easy.
loaded, so I don't know how he squeezes in there, but maybe if he could do some kickoff returns and just kind of show his skills there and then lead into something else. But I don't know.
I wonder sometimes if promises were made because him and Ryan Williams kind of felt like a package deal.
I mean? Really feel that. Yeah. I think you're dead on with that one.
Yeah, potentially, but
with them having the podcast together too.
Yeah.
I also feel like they didn't realize how deep the wide receiver room was going to be at that point when they were trying to keep him. I think then you start to add in a Horton. Brooks comes on quicker than maybe what you were thinking as well. And all of a sudden the room is filling out more. And you're like, oh, yeah, I know we said we'd get you some play in there, but, those first 4 are already way better than you are.
Yeah, yeah. And then you get that, at the end of that recruiting cycle, they weren't planning on getting a Derek Meadows. He was already committed to LSU. They're still recruiting him, but then he flips right at the last minute. So, So that room got deep quick, man. Really quick.
Yes. And I don't think it was like that. And it's interesting, because I know you're going to be on the on Talking Bama tomorrow night on Bama Standard. Mm-hmm. And Domo, who's going to be filling in as one of the extra guests, he just had a TikTok video he came out with about Mbakwe. And that's he's my favorite player on the team. But he said the same thing in the video. I think it's going to be special teams where he breaks out. So that's why it was going to be one of my questions, because I know, we'll all be there tomorrow. But I don't see another path forward to significant playing time.
I'm fine with that. I mean, if he can have a Javier Arenas type impact on special teams, play special teams, brother. Yeah, play special teams.
Take it.
We have to give a special shout out to a very long time listener, Kat. My only disappointment is that you didn't bring us to some of the spaghetti to try. But
we don't know what it's like. But kudos to you and your husband. So wish we had some.
That actually sounds really good.
It does.
And our boy Nick showed up here. Yep. So we're going to be on with Nick on Monday night. I believe 8:00 is what we're settling on.
Yep.
So That's gonna be a fun one. I feel so old because Nick will message and we'll talk about getting there, and then I'll go back and look, and it's 2 weeks and I haven't replied to the message. I'm like, yeah, so that's my fault that this hasn't happened. So Nick, I definitely apologize, but looking forward to it. So
I do the same thing, man. It's cool.
Yeah. And Kat, there's no excuses. No
Yeah.
excuses. So one of the things that Raj and I we're going to talk about tonight, outside of recruiting, and I know, like I said, we're gonna talk more about recruiting tomorrow night. So I definitely want to leave some of those questions.
Sure.
Are we getting, as Alabama fans, too hype for next year? Are we overrating ourselves, or is it all kind of warranted? Are we all in the proper mindset? Raj and I have kind of gone on record, by the way, as 10-2. That's where we're starting with our conversation. Is where
I'm okay with that. It depends on who the two are, but I'm okay with it. As long as it's not Vandy again, I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Lord, no.
Yeah. No, I think that it's warranted, it's justified, man. I mean, you look at going into last season, you know, we all thought when Kalen DeBoer got hired, we all thought it was going to be Ryan Grubb as offensive coordinator. And then Grubb takes the Seattle job. You end up with Nick Sheridan, who he did okay, but let's be honest, his hands were tied behind his back a little bit. Jalen Milroe, God bless him, was super inconsistent all season long. It's not a knock against him. He just was.
Right.
And then there, you know, you had these issues on the offensive line that showed up during the USF game, and those never entirely got settled.
Right.
You know, and then Vanderbilt, all of a sudden, the shovel pass, the middle shovel pass is like Alabama's kryptonite out of nowhere. I think it's fine. I think you always want to be cautiously optimistic, but if you'll notice, people in the media are starting to catch on too. If you'll see these like preseason rankings people are putting out, the closer we get to the season, the higher up Alabama creeps in those rankings. I saw somebody put one out and had Bama at 3 the other day, and folks were outside of the Bama, you know, group were losing their minds. And I'm like, we're talking top 10 offense, top 10 defense this year, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And PFF has ranked us pretty high.
Yeah, there we go.
Too, so yeah.
Yeah,
so
there we go.
I think the team, everything for the team is warranted. But to answer your question, Herb, I think the hype is justified as well, because as Cotton just stated, like going into last season, we just didn't know what to expect from year one. We had a lot of, you know, there were some people in Bama Nation who were like, man, we could win the SEC and go win a natty. And I was on the other end. I was like, it's going to take some time. We got a first year coach, offensive coordinator. We have a lot of things that we don't know what to expect. So let's just, as long as we get out here with a winning record, I'm okay with that. And we'll see what happens in year 2. But this year, considering everything we've seen in the offseason, the culture, the new culture of the program, getting Ryan Grubb, new quarterback, having a top 5 defense returning, I think we're going to have one of the best offenses in the country. I think it's all justified, and all the weapons are there. At the end of the day, I just feel like it's going to come down to quarterback play and what Ty Simpson. And again, we're pretty much under the assumption that Ty Simpson will start week 1, unless something else happens. But all the weapons are there for him offensively to succeed at the quarterback, and I think he can have like a really, really nice 2020 Mac Jones-esque type season. We don't need him to throw 350, 400 yards a game, but just hand the ball off to your running backs, hit your tight ends, hit your receivers, scramble when you need to, but play safe, smart football, and we can have a very, very successful season.
Yeah, the best Alabama teams under Nick Saban, that's what their quarterbacks did, man.
Yeah.
That's what
and they always do like the game manager, and people want to use it as an insult, but that's not the way I'm using it. I just don't need a guy who's on 3rd and 10 thinking like, if we don't get this, we're doomed. No, if we punt with this defense, we're fine. Yeah. So
3rd and 10, Hail Mary to Ryan Williams.
Right.
I'm like, bro.
But do you know what's funny about that? I would have been fine with that play last year several times.
Yep.
You know, hey, if you're going to go deep to him, that's fine. If he catches it, great. If it interception, it's 40, 50 yards down the field, it's like a punt. It just didn't seem like that was the time we would do it. 3rd and 7, we throw 5 yards and miss that guy by 2 yards. It was too much of that versus if you're going to miss big. Let's go.
Exactly.
The play calling offensively was a little off last year, and I think you can kind of chalk that up to Sheridan being a first-time OC. And so, and then also, like I it's hard for Alabama fans because we spent 17 years under Nick Saban. And what did Nick Saban tell us to do? Like you hear him preaching about expectations, and if you can't lower the expectation, blah, blah, blah. So what are our expectations? National championship or bust. And now all of a sudden we're supposed to turn that off since he's not there anymore. Nah, man.
Right.
Nah, the brand's still lethal, man. We're good.
That's true. That script speaks volumes, and it speaks volumes to everybody. And I think so many people outside of Bama Nation wanted us to just fold since Nick Saban's gone. Oh, they're never going to win again. The dynasty's dead, etc. But looking at how we're recruiting this summer and looking at our expectations for this season, like, we're going to prove to everybody that it's not dead, and that, hey, we're still going to be around here messing up folks and messing with people's heads and bothering everybody, and we're still going to be a dominant force in the SEC for several years to come.
Can I be like candid and very blunt to the people listening? If
this
you
is
are
a
not
Saturday night show, anything.
Okay,
yeah.
Right.
Let it loose.
I'm drinking a drink that's tequila and pickles. So
what?
Yeah, that was my reaction. The pickles, the tequila, okay, but the pickles, I've never had that before. But
I feel like I
want to try it, but I don't know.
I feel like there's a story behind that drink.
The fact I wish there was. My niece makes my drinks when she's been staying with us, and this is what was on the counter. She decided to throw into the glass and brought it down.
Is it good?
I mean, it's
a drink.
It's got tequila.
There we go. It's doing the job. You don't have to worry about
the job.
You don't have to worry about cramps either. You're good.
Right. I'll be good.
Hey,
Sorry, go ahead, though.
Go ahead.
Here's what I want to say. If your name is not Paul Feinbaum or Matt Moscona, and you're not trying to rage bait for engagement and clicks, and you are telling people that Alabama has fallen off and that their cap is 8-5 moving forward, you're an idiot. You are dumb. Yeah. You don't understand football. You don't understand what Nick Saban was doing for 17 years. That man knew what he was going to have for breakfast every day the rest of his life. You're telling me he didn't think to build that program so it could sustain losing him? Mm-hmm. You're dumb. You're dumb.
Yeah.
You are not a forward thinker.
There's an LSU guy out there right now that's trolling.
Matt Moscona. But he knows. He's just using it as rage bait because
he went on a little rant. He knows it's summertime, so he said, "Let me say something to get some engagement in." And
he did the same thing last year.
What's up, Randy? This is our Georgia Bulldog friend.
Shout out to Randy.
I mean, it's the Daddy Cannell way of sticking around. So, Randy, actually, we do some crossovers with him whenever the Georgia game comes up, so it's usually a good time.
Well, Georgia's in the same boat. Kirby Smart. You give him 4 or 5 more years, that program too will be sustainable once he hangs it up. And I think Kirby Smart's probably got 6, 7, 8 years left in him, which it seems like a long time, but golly, 17 years with Nick Saban went by really, really fast. So.
It did. And I'll be honest, man, you look at the talent that's on this year's team right now and the depth at certain positions. I think it's still better than every team that he's had after the 2021, like the last 2 or 3 years. I think our skill positions are much better and much deeper.
I was surprised we made it as far as we did in the 2023 season when we won the SEC championship that year and almost made it to the. I was surprised at that. I'm not gonna lie. There were some games in that season I was like, dude, I don't know what's gonna happen. We're probably not gonna make it to the playoff this year, but we squeezed them out. So.
That offensive line play that year was rough, man. That was a tough year.
We're gonna address that one in a minute. Let's grab a couple and we'll go back to the offensive lines. That's a good one. So, he is, man. He is. Remember, there was a time when people thought right after the season would he leave, and he's out there getting Bama tattoos. So dude was never leaving, man.
Right.
And you got to get in the dad joke of the night. Simpson will win the Heisman Trophy. Thanks, Mike. That's why we love you.
I'm still in that. That's good.
Yep. I've never heard of pickled vodka.
That's worse than pickled tequila.
Yes. Yeah.
I've never heard that either.
We don't have to put pickles in everything, do we?
Yeah.
No. Look, I swear to you that she was making the drink in a pickle jar happened to be on the counter, so that's what I got in here. So
sometimes. No, go ahead, God. I'm sorry.
Is it literally just tequila with a pickle in it?
I don't know.
Is there anything else?
The last time she did it, she grabbed 3 or 4 other things. This seems like tequila. I mean, something else because that's a whole lot of.
She got some triple sec or something in there.
Yeah.
No, man.
That's
this
crazy.
is what happens when you let your family make
Sometimes when you're at home, you don't
Mike,
have
is it
some
any
of the
good?
right stuff. You'll just put whatever it is. Like when I don't have everything for old fashioned, I'm like, I don't have any oranges, but I got some pineapple chunks in here. You know what? I'm at the house. I'll try it. Put some ice and some simple syrup in here and make it. I'll make it happen.
Yeah. After like 4 of them, it doesn't matter anymore.
Exactly.
No, it really
exactly.
doesn't anymore.
Exactly.
It really doesn't anymore.
Exactly.
So, yep. I agree with you, Kat. So, pickled okra I actually have upstairs. That was brought for me.
Wait.
So all these celebrations
Sounds
are my
good.
extended birthday celebrations.
I've
So
never
different
had
parts of the
pickled okra.
family. I have a jar of it upstairs that I've almost finished.
Wow.
So it was brought
Okay.
last week. It is great
Delicious.
stuff. So
That sounds
he
really
said
good.
pickled vodka. I guess you buy it like that.
That's cool.
Pickles. And what's up, Bo, man? Good to see you, man.
Shout out to Bo. Thank you for joining us, sir.
And Mike is loving his drink. So where is
Oh, yeah.
that? I wanted to grab this because we've been talking about our offensive line pay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think when this came out?
I could see it. Honestly, my first thought is why is Florida number 4, but Utah at number 2. This, I will say, these guys are, some of their lists are a little skeptical, and so,
Right.
but Bama at 1 is probably too high for me. But Bama's going to have a solid line this year, I think.
Yeah.
With this, especially with the way it happened. That's good. Pickle Rick. With the way it happened last year, for a while they had dudes that were dinged up, so you played a lot of guys. So you've got some younger guys who have some legitimate experience, and then you've got some leadership on the line. Look, Bama lost Todd Booker. That's going to be a huge piece to replace. I think they can do it. They've got plenty of depth on the O line. I don't really see much of an issue. We're going to find out in Tallahassee. Right. I think Alabama is going to try to grind that game out,
right,
and really put that offensive line to the test. Here's your chance to prove, your mettle. And if they do, man, because Florida State's going to have a decent defensive line this year. So if Bama can run the ball against FSU in week 1, that's going to be scary for the rest of the country.
Speak volumes. Yep.
This is kind of where I was. I think this is more like a potential versus like the way last year ended, and with a little couple uncertainty. Because outside of Parker Brailsford, you probably have questions, almost everywhere, either with health or with Proctor and Wade and footwork. So I was like, could we end at 1? Yeah, but would I have put us 1 to start? No way.
No, it's weird. But I'm with Kat. I think I want to see it first because I don't know if you guys, and this is even under Nick Saban, his last 3 squads, the offensive line play declined tremendously.
Yeah.
Bryce Young, man, that dude never won a national championship as a starter because he was running for his life. The entire season. And then same thing with Jalen Milroe the year after. That's why we were kind of so high on Jalen Milroe last year, because he's going to have a better offensive line. The offensive line was a little bit better last year. It can't get worse in 2022. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Or 2023. So we'll see.
And you got to feel like this is something they knew coming into this. Like this whole thing hinges on it. You've got all the skill positions coming out of A-Day. One thing we were worried about was tight. Like we have a million tight ends, but none of them were healthy. Still went and grabbed 2 more to distinctly different guys too as well. So you just feel like everything else is in place. The whole line has to come together.
Yeah. And then, I mean, if on the, I deal with recruiting a lot. You look at how they're recruiting, and they're recruiting trenches first. Last year's offensive line class for Alabama, even with Ty Haywood jumping ship at the last minute, that's a pretty impressive class. They're about to sign a really good defensive line class this year that rivals that offensive line class from last year. So they know what they're doing, man. It's the game's won in the trenches, and Bama's always been known to be to bully people in the trenches. So,
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. We're in good hands, folks. We're in good hands.
Agreed.
I agree with that. So I'm kind of tired of the Bevo guy that follows some of this stuff around, and all you ever talk. Saban's not walking through that. Like we've moved on from that, man. We're good, and I like the staff that's coming in. Honestly, I feel like they were given is a little too harsh on last year. This guy was about to try and plan his next year at Washington, coming off a national championship game loss. And next thing you know, he's in Tuscaloosa trying to hold a whole team together.
And keep in mind, go ahead, Cotton. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, please.
No, we ended up at 9-4 last year. It wasn't what we expected. I mean, we thought there were a couple of games out there that we should have won. The OU game, had we played a little better. Didn't expect to lose to Vandy. We get that, but we ended up at 9-4. That's not terrible. For some schools, if you end up 9-4, your coach gets a raise and an extension. Keep in mind, Saban was 7-6 in his first year. Then he went 12-2, went undefeated in the regular season. His second year, lost the SEC championship, then lost to I think Utah. I think in the bowl game. So I mean, we ended up at 9-4. Not bad. I think it's still good, but I think we're going to see again a similar year like Saban's second year. We're going to see a drastic change this year, and we'll be in the playoffs. So it comes down to patience for a lot of fans, being able to hold on and just work with this transition into the second and third year. And then I think by then we'll see a natty. So it's coming.
Sure.
Just ease up. Just take it easy.
Dude, they were one game away from making the playoff last year. They were one loss away from making the playoff last year. And Jeff said it. He says that he calls last year kind of year zero for Kalen DeBoer. And Xavier Griffin's mom talked about this too, that it was like people didn't understand like what he was up against coming into Alabama when he did. Us as fans, we put so much pressure on the dude. It's amazing he hasn't quit yet, but that's his job was impossible last season. It really was. And then keeping that locker room, making them buy into what he wants. Right. What his expectations as opposed to Nick Saban. And then you're in the SEC. Everybody in the SEC is getting better all at the same time because of transfer portal, NIL. It was an impossible job, and he still went 9-4 with a running back playing quarterback, man. So you get a guy in there, whether it's Austin Mack or Ty Simpson. It's not going to be Keelan Russell. I'm excited for him, but he's not going to be the starting quarterback. Right. You get one of those guys in there, and like we said earlier, they can just play that game manager role, hit the shots, hit the check downs, actually read the defense and make a couple checks.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Then the people that we should get rid of him halfway through the season, I said, you guys are ridiculous.
Oh, that's stupid.
First off, who do you think's coming in here? You already signed this guy. He's replacing a legend. And halfway through the year, you want to get rid of him and go with someone else? I didn't understand any of that. Yeah. Well, who's taking that job at that point? That makes no sense.
Right.
So,
everybody thought they wanted to go get a name, Dan Lanning or Dabo Swinney is tossed around, Lane Kiffin. None of those guys want to risk their success in their career coming in and replacing Nick Saban and falling flat on their face. Get out of here, man. It's absolutely nuts. So anyway, Alabama's going to be fine. But fellas, if you don't mind, I'm going to head out for the evening.
Oh no,
hang out with
this
the
is how we
jam.
do Saturdays. This is how we do. You want to tell everybody what you got coming up or anything, or we know we're going to see you tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, we'll be with you guys with JT tomorrow night. I believe you guys are joining us in a couple of weeks over on our channel.
I want to say it's the 17th.
I think so. Yeah, okay. Jeff's got a calendar somewhere. I don't.
That's how me and Herb are. I have to ask Herb like the dates and can we sync calendars or something, because I have no idea. Even though you just told me, I didn't write it down. So
I did. Yeah, I just make graphics. But anyway, we're most of you watching this know who we are. Way Offsides. Follow us everywhere. We've got a channel here on YouTube. I love that we have this community and we kind of all support each other. So I appreciate you guys. Can't wait to hang out with you tomorrow and then here in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. Awesome. We appreciate you guys.
Appreciate
y'all
you,
been
man.
very welcoming and always very helpful, man. We love y'all, man.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day, man. Happy Father's Day.
You too, fellas. You need anything, holler at me. Roll Tide.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Man, appreciate you, Cotton. That's one thing I do like about the Saturday night show, too. Yeah. Cotton texted us, or we were just talking right as we're going on air, and we were like, yeah, come on. So
Yep. I'll take it.
Fun time. Randy, I went and found your Cole Kubelik.
I thought Kubelik said Oklahoma had the best defense. Maybe I'm wrong.
The article I've got right here, which I think was in May. He's got it in this order: Georgia, Texas A&M, Auburn, Alabama, Florida.
What am I reading then? Let's just completely disregard what I thought. I tried to Google it. And he said Oklahoma about Oklahoma, but hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So.
Yeah. See, I don't see. Yeah, I don't see that one. Top off that. And man, I think if he misses it at 9-3, you're almost like, what were those 3 losses?
Yep.
If he loses at Georgia, at South Carolina, at Auburn in tight games, I feel like, half the fans are going to want to fire him regardless if we miss the playoffs. But I think those are your games that you can stomach the most.
Right.
Maybe lost to LSU with as high as their rank. Maybe that's one. You cannot lose. Your 3 losses can't be to Vandy. The only home game you can lose, I think, out of this stretch is LSU, and maybe be acceptable. And that means if we lose that game, Nussmeier better be on the short list for the Heisman. It better be like when we lost to Joe Burrow on them.
Yep.
So,
to answer your question, Randy, a lot of people are going to be pissed, and to Herb's point, a lot of people are going to want for his job to be, want him to resign and all this type of stuff. So, and again, it just changes. The expectations have changed from last year, especially Herb and I can agree on this. Your expectations was playoffs. So if you make it to the playoff, I'm also expecting us to win a few games in the playoff and make a nice run. If we do that and not win a natty, I can live with that and then just say, hey, year 3, this is our year. But if we go 9-3 again, miss out on the playoff, a lot of us are going to be PO'd, and some people will want to try to run them out of T-Town. So
yeah, definitely.
Hopefully that does not happen.
Yep. And yeah, that was cool. And yep. That was where his rankings were. So I didn't get to click on the video, so I didn't get to see some of the explanations, but that is what I just read, and that's what came out. No, that's it. Now if they go 9-3 and somehow make the playoffs, then I think he's safe. But it's like Raj said, you're gonna be mad if they miss it. So that's gonna be bad. Oh yeah, we're behind. I guess they're kind of on the way, but thank you, Cotton, for stopping by here. That was awesome. Definitely said we'll see him again tomorrow. Raj?
Sorry about that.
What are you doing? All
right. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, everybody. Ooh.
All right.
No, so good stuff in there. Good stuff. So yeah, for me it's like that second part. I feel like Alabama should contend. I'm looking for us to get into the playoffs, and then what happens. But I don't think there's ever been a year where I said Alabama's winning the whole thing. My 10-2 this year is, like my 10-2 last year. I think we have the talent to do that and make the playoffs. Then you just kind of see. But I don't think I could ever get myself into the point. You want championships, but I don't think you can expect them.
Exactly. That's the best way to put it. Yeah.
So, man, appreciate Cotton for stopping by. I said we moved off recruiting a little bit because Bama Standard is covering that tomorrow, and we definitely wanted to leave some questions. But there was some interesting stuff in there. You kind of agreed with him too. Oh, Kyle be 28 on Monday.
Cheers, man! Happy early birthday, Kyle.
I don't know where Kyle is. Kyle, we got to send you a present though, man. So,
I
don't know. We'll DM you and figure out what you need. I don't know if you want to kind of go into our other stuff or leave it for another. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So what I have on in here right now, Raj, you want to guess what's on the 2 TVs in the room?
Hold on. I don't know if there are any college baseball games on right now.
LSU was playing Arkansas earlier. I think when we started.
There's no NBA on
in the double elimination. LSU is up 3-1 on Arkansas.
Okay.
And that is not on
the
TV.
To answer your question, I don't know. I don't know what you have on.
Cats.
No. No.
Cats, strike it out. No.
What do you have on? Let us know.
There's 2 TVs. You don't got either one of them.
Wrestling? Is there some wrestling going?
Nope. Stanley Cup.
Okay.
Is on 1. Florida's up 2-0. Yeah, early in the second period. Last game was exciting. That was fun. So that was there's the 2 games in this series where 20 seconds or less somebody scored to send the whole thing into overtime. So this was craziness. They're in Edmonton now, tied 2-2, but Florida's up 2-0. And you'll be forgiven for getting this. The UFL championship game is on the other
I
TV.
forgot because we didn't make it this year. So
Yeah,
who's winning? Who's winning?
DC is up 23-13. It looks like there's been some chunk plays. It looks like there was a halfback pass or something that went for a touchdown, and then Michigan had the ball, and DC stripped it and got way down there, and then they scored again. So no, it's good stuff. So Mike said 4-1 LSU. So
okay.
I'm kind of starting to figure out what we're going to talk about next, or if we're going to go, because I do have company at the house, so I do need.
We're good.
Can't just throwing out stuff now. Although that would be fun. So do you want to leave our other couple of topics?
Yeah. We'll check it up for next week. But I think we're good for right now. Everything is good.
Okay.
Again, shout out to Way Outside. Oh yeah, me too. Sorry. Shout out to Way Outside's Cotton for joining us. Again, he'll be on Talking Bama tomorrow night at what time is that? 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
7 p.m. Central. Yep. So JT, the host. Yep. Domo, who we mentioned earlier.
Yep.
And you had a comment on that one too, right? Oh no, you said it with Bob. Domo had he's got he had to restart his Twitter, so his Twitter following is not as big as it once was, but he's huge on TikTok now, making a lot of videos. And so that was just interesting that he had that Bach one. So that's why I wanted to bring it up on here.
And Herb and I are trying to familiarize ourselves more with TikTok. So we're working on that. If you're not following us on TikTok, please follow us on TikTok, Herb Rodg Podcast. We're working on it. We're working at it. So we're getting there. Cheers, Herb.
And Raj, you've been carrying the TikTok. So man, we definitely you've been ticking all the tops.
I'm just trying to help out as much as I can. And cheers.
Cheers.
All time.
So, So, Randy, I don't know if you saw that, and Mike, I don't know if we've really talked about it, but I got to get to a hockey game next year. So, let's we'll talk about that. But I'm enjoying watching the Stanley Cup. So I think it'll be, if I actually adopted a team that I liked, the whole thing would be a little more exciting too as well. UFL, since Birmingham's not in anymore. And I feel bad. I didn't go to a single game this year. I really don't.
That's why we're not in, thanks to you. Wow.
I know.
I'll just play.
Hold on.
I'm just playing. What are you doing? Are you changing? No, what is he doing?
Oh my God, man. Does this help anybody?
You stood up just to change your hat? Wow.
Yes.
I mean, we won. Listen, we won 3 in a row, right? So I mean, we're okay there.
We survived the league crashing. I think it's Nashville, right? Is there no more hockey in Atlanta anymore?
I was about to say Atlanta would be, but I don't know. That's a good question, Mike. I honestly am not sure.
I want to say it is Nashville because I feel like the last time Randy and I talked about it, he mentioned Nashville as well. Yeah. So the last miscellaneous topic we had, other sports wise, was what's the NBA Finals are now 2-2. It's funny, they sent in Scott Foster to make sure that it was going to be tied up, and now it's tied up. We all, you and I kind of agreed. I said whoever wins. I felt like if Indy won last night, it's over because now they're up 3-1. But now that OKC tied it up and they're going back to OKC, that can definitely swing in OKC's favor, and I think OKC has the momentum. So I could definitely see it going that way. I don't have a dog in the fight. To me, it is who it is, and we'll move on and see what happens next year. But it's been after the games that I've watched, it's been pretty much of an entertaining series. So I'm not gonna lie about that. It hasn't been that bad. I didn't get to see game 1. I was out of town. I only got to see like the last 2 minutes, but I watched the majority of the other 3 games. So game 1, of course, was won by Indy on that big comeback. But hold on, I'll get to that in just a sec, Randy. This was another. Hey, we appreciate you, definitely, Kyle. Thank you, Jay Bate.
I think
was this about Atlanta hockey, Jay Bate? Go ahead.
I don't know, Jay. What does the J stand for in Jay Bate? Herb, what do you think it stands for?
Julius.
I'm thinking Jeremiah. Jay Bate, let us know. No, you can only get one guess. You can only get one guess.
Julius.
Jay Bate, let us know what it stands for, and let us know who was if one of us were close. It might be something else.
Nah, it's probably gonna be John, but I like Julius.
Gotcha.
Jethro Bake. That's my. He's trying to say Jebediah and he spelled it wrong. It's not
Jebediah.
Oh.
You know what? Jay Bake's new name is Jethro.
Jethro Bake, baby. What's up, Jethro?
Shout out to Jethro. Okay.
Jubal Bake.
Jason. It could be Jason. That yeah.
Come on, Kyle. Let's not go with Jason. No Jason, no John. We're making it ridiculous on the show today.
Yeah.
So in honor of your birthday, whatever name you come up with, Kyle, that's what we call J Bake from now on. So yeah, so he did say there's no professional hockey.
Oh, okay.
I thought there was at one point, but
they're making Whoopi.
Making Whoopi.
And there are a couple minor.
I'm married. Okay. We don't do a whole lot of making Whoopi. Oh, he did. Sorry, Mike. He did beat Jonathan.
That was actually hilarious. That was hilarious. That was one of Herb's, out of all the years we've been doing podcasts, that was one of Herb's better jokes. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, you and Kat were both on the same one. Yeah. I forget what I was about to say before we got into all that. Then I want to go back to Randy's.
Hold on. Let me comment on what Randy said about his live streams.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting to go back to. Yep.
Oh yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say then?
No. I just wanted to highlight it, talk about it. So
yeah. Well, let us know, Randy, if you are going to start doing these live streams and what times, and it'd be pretty cool. Kind of help build up the audience even more.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
And like I said, Andy, we're looking forward to the season. We don't often do Georgia stuff season because I think we get to mix it up so much during the year.
Yeah.
So, but we would support you.
Of course.
I was having dinner with Mike on this past one, and we still got out there and enjoyed his live stream. So Randy always does a good job, man. So appreciate it. I like how Jay Bacon's he's just sitting back and
he's not gonna tell us.
Yeah, he's not gonna tell us. That's fine though.
All right, cool.
It's fine, Jethro. It's all good. The Birmingham Bulls. I feel like that's a yes, Mike, but I don't know. And I think you can go to Huntsville to get some hockey, but I'm not sure. More casual on Wednesday. Yeah, so like our Saturday nights, would you be sipping some good bourbon on there?
Hunters, which
and
is
he
good.
said the same thing. Thought it seemed that they were adding a team back in Atlanta. Yep, and that's the same thing. What was that Kyle said as well, right? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, I did miss it. It's Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy. Oh, my bad. I completely missed it too.
Yeah.
Jimmy, now I feel underwhelmed. I thought it was something else, but James. Jimmy.
I don't feel underwhelmed or overwhelmed. I just feel whelmed. So thank you for that. I'm whelmed by Jimmy.
Oh my gosh. I'll just play.
There's a Jimmy hat joke in here somewhere, but I don't know how to make it.
No, there's not.
Yes.
No, there's not.
Hey, Jimmy over there making Whoopi. If you're gonna be making Whoopi, don't forget.
Wow, look at the time, 8:30 p.m. on a Saturday night. Man, I gotta get ready for church tomorrow. Oh man.
It's Jimmy. Yep. That's a great joke, though. If you're gonna be making Whoopi, don't forget about Jimmy.
The making Whoopi joke was. You make my head hurt. Oh gosh. All right. Anyway,
Kat, I think Kat's the only one catching jokes. She's like, "Oh, what the hell?" My middle name is overwhelming. No, come on. Well, let me just say this: how much alcohol do we have to give you in Tallahassee to find out the middle name? So, I didn't even think about that.
Oh wow.
And this is why I like Saturday nights, man. So, but like Raj, we mentioned, I do have family in the house, so I do kind of need to go.
Yeah, go ahead. Bye, Herb. Bye.
This is perfect.
Oh wow.
Mike.
Oh my gosh.
As usual, and we appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. We say this sometimes. Tuesday night is our main show. That's where we started. That's what we're going on. That's what we're trying to get. Saturday, I don't even remember why we did the first Saturday. It was just like, hey, do you just want to go on and talk about, was it a game or something? And then Raj liked the Saturday so much and having a shot, he's like, we got to do that again.
Yeah.
And I think he's really been the driving force behind like, hey, we got to go on the Saturday. Like, what are the topics? Like, what are we talking about? What are we going through? So
yeah. No, I think it was. Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was just a really, really good idea to do something on Saturday, kind of show another side of us, and just a more laid back side, but still kind of incorporate the sports into it. So I like the way it's going. And again, Herb and I have mentioned several times that once college football season starts, obviously the times will be adjusted. And there may be some Saturdays we just don't do them, depending on if there's a good night game. I mean, obviously August 30th, we'll be in Tallahassee, so I don't. We'll figure out a way to still provide content. It just might be altered a little bit, so we'll see. Yep.
I got to think of a good middle name for Jay. Jethro Geraldine Bake.
JGB.
No.
Jethro Geraldine. No, Geraldine is a girl's name. Gerald.
Yeah, that's not good.
Jethro,
have you ever seen
Gerald
Resident Alien?
Resident Alien or Resident Evil?
Yeah. Anybody know Resident Alien? Like I would confuse those two. Yes.
Resident Alien?
Yes, Resident Alien. It's on Netflix.
No, I've never seen that.
Yeah. It's a great show. Anybody who's actually seen it and knows what he names the baby would know where this joke was going because of that. So well, anyway, Jethro, if we catch up with you in Tallahassee and you're still around, we'll you got to come on the Saturday night show with us there and talk about the game or something like that. So we'll get the last couple thoughts, and like I said, we're getting out. So she said, "Whoopie pies." Yep. Whoopie pies. We appreciate you, man. Yeah, no direction, dirty jokes, and get distracted. You know what's funny about this show that you might not be able to tell when we're in the middle of it? We actually do talk and discuss what topics we want to go through.
We do.
And whatever before we go on. And then it kind of ends up where it ends up. So
yeah.
Allows it to be a lift, and then I'll switch from other people I've taken on it. Loop me in. Let me go.
Yep.
Saturday night, non-Alabama fans. That would be fun, Mike. So whenever we've been playing around with the idea of live stream stuff, I always want to practice on another game first before I jump right into Alabama. Yep. That might be fun to do. We'll figure that out for sure. See?
You know what? Okay. Resident Alien, I'll put that on the list.
It's actually a comic book first. And
I didn't know that.
For me, it's now on Netflix. I missed the broadcast TV stuff, which I think it was on Sci-Fi, right?
I'll put it on the list.
Yep. So, but it is a fun one. And when you get up to the part about him naming a baby, then you'll get where that is. So,
yeah.
Hey, we are in. The only reason why Oklahoma got slowed down was terrible Wi-Fi.
Yes, our Wi-Fi was horrible.
But if we can get all that figured out better ahead of time, we are absolutely in.
Yeah, J-Bake, this is actually something we've been thinking about because I think Way Offsides Cotton is going to be there as well. So we would love to do a live, or whatever the case may be, some sort of live from wherever we are, and that would be awesome. So we'll what? Oh, sorry.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Jedediah. I mean, that
I'm
would
just
be
drinking a pickle at this point.
Yeah, that's disgusting. We have already thought about that too, man. So when we're all down there, we'll get a live going and we'll figure it out. Herb is in a whole nother world right now.
You just said that so casually. Yeah, that's disgusting.
I haven't reached that part of my life to drink pickles. But
the shows, the movies, or the game?
I only played like the very first Resident Evil game on the first PlayStation, but I like the movies. I've seen a few of the movies and I like those.
The movies get more and more ridiculous, but I definitely had we definitely had fun. So them late Colorado games. That would be fun. That would be fun. We're gonna do some more stuff in the fall. I'm already looking forward to the fall.
We will. I'm looking forward.
He really is, dude. So that's the Alien. The last thing I saw him in was the pirate on Dodgeball. Before this.
That I remember him. Because he came out at the end of the last game. He was like, no, and then he awarded him the money. He was like, arr. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Yep. On USA for SmackDown. Okay.
See, I didn't know.
You know what, guys? I'm new to Resident Alien, but I'll have to figure that out. So yes.
He is, but he helps everybody. He also has a staff of like 20 people. Because he has like somebody who does graphics for him. I think somebody who operates the smoke machine, like when he was around, somebody who signs all his autographs for him. So that's it. We just actually put in Starlink in a person's house. So, I mean, that's amazing. But does that also, are you saying that, but like, do you live way out? Like, not to get into your business, but I knew a lot of times people do Starlink because of where they're living. So
Herb is trying to get in your business. Sorry.
I am trying to eat your business. Resident Evil movies, like with Mila Jovovich. Is that what we're talking about? That is
yes.
one of my guilty pleasure movies. Like, there's 2 movie series that at any time I could just watch like the whole thing: Friday the 13th and Resident Evil, and just be like, oh, I'm enjoying this. Resident Evil gets totally ridiculous in certain things they just forget at times, but it's pretty good. It's fun.
Yeah.
And Jethro says he's in. I'm in. So
all right, let's do it.
I don't think I ever watched A Knight's Tale. I know I probably read about it and know everything about it.
You asked me my 5 movies one time, and I said honorable mention was A Knight's Tale. I've seen that movie at least 6 or 7 times.
I just thought it
I
was
love A Knight's Tale. I think that was a dope movie. So yeah.
I'm not even posting that, Mike, because nothing that you do is ugly or your fault. You are an amazing person, an amazing friend, and you do a lot of work. We appreciate you. All right, Roger, I'm taking my last shot. I'm going up to the fam.
Okay, I am going to
keep some of our other subjects for later.
Yes.
Florida's still up 2-0 on Edmonton. Stanley Cup Game 5. DC is now up 31-19. There's a flag on the play and people are talking. Raj.
All right. One last thing. Shout out to fathers out there. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Happy Sunday to everybody. And I hope everybody has an excellent week coming up. Again, we appreciate you guys for joining us. Follow us on all socials, blah, 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 blah. And of course, roll Tide.
Roll Tide, everybody. Love
Roll
y'all. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
If you don't, I was going to say hang up, but